fantastic, fantastic atmosphere. Great vibe.
But in some ways it's pretty much cyclical again. A Canadian band, I can't think what their bloody name is, but the song was very much the same chords as Matchstick Men and that kind of stuff. And it seems in the last 12 years or so, since Oasis and bands like that, their music is very much what we were all doing in the 60s. In terms of the drum pattern, the style and the tempo of the music. And lots of us still do kind of what Little Richard and Jerry Lee Lewis were doing, really up-tempo, high-energy music. Thrash metal, heavy metal has been pretty much the same for many years. And I don't have a problem with things being the same. If I like them, I just like them. We have a terrible thing that we think things have to be new, when really there's only so many notes in music, as we all know, and it's just been jiggled around a bit differently. It's exactly the same as Beethoven and Mozart and people we use. It's the same music, it's just juggled around differently, maybe use different sounds. Sound-wise, it's a problem with the digital stuff. That we have a desk that we're using for monitor at the moment, which is so digital and so. People are lost on the idea of the sound, not what's moving in the soul or the spirit or inside. It's just the actual sound quality. The sound quality doesn't really make a performance. And what's happening, a lot of the 60s, 70s bands, it had to be the performance because the sound quality wasn't there. And there seems to be many, many acts these days that have sound quality and no performance. And you can now put a voice track, you can put it in tune with a machine. So you don't really have to be able to sing, as long as you're quite pretty, attractive, can do the dance, whatever the dance is at the moment. And but it's show business, and it does this, and show business, or music industry has become shareholder driven. It's not governed by music people so much anymore. It's probably inevitable that it had to happen, or was going to happen. But it's driven by money people. So therefore, there's not going to be much developing of a band. At the end of the year, the MD wants to keep his arse, keeps his job, and so he will have to show profit. He cannot say, I'm investing in this man's band, because they're not music people. They don't give a shit. They just want, where's the money? Give me the money. And whilst I understand that, because we live in a commercial world, there are so many people out there, and I understand again, that would want their 10 minutes of fame, whether it means they're puppets or whatever you want to call them. They're being manipulated, their songs are being written for them, recorded for them. All they have to do is learn to sing. This is your part, you sing this. This is your part, you sing this. Come back in 3 weeks and we'll finish the record. The record's made, you just sing. Now we'll take you 3 months rehearsals while we teach you to dance, and a big production goes out and it makes money for a couple of years, and he takes the money and they go back into depression, where there must be a lot of people getting to a point where they felt they haven't done it, you know. Somebody said to me the other day that whatever happens, status quo weren't a flash in the pan, a 1 minute wonder, you know. And I remember that being the greatest fear. I talked to Manfred the other night about I didn't want to be a one-hit wonder. Well, luckily we weren't. I really don't know. If I did know, I'd write more. I'd write hits to make financial. But there are lots of songs that I've written, or I've written with different people, that I think are wonderful, and other people don't. And other songs I think, yeah, it's okay, and people think are wonderful. So I don't really know. I just know that when writing songs, when it gets to that period of writing, it gets very exciting inside again. It's like, ooh. And I don't understand what it is. I don't know how it starts. I know that I have to start working, or I maybe sit in the garden and I play, and something starts to happen. And usually the first thing I start to write, but unless you finish that song, I always liken it to when I was younger. I had an uncle who used to like to drink a lot, and he would get so full up with drink he would have to go and be sick so that he could have another drink. And I liken it to I have to get that song out of the way, whether I think it's horrible or not, so that I can write the next song. And once I do that, then it starts to flow and becomes very exciting. And I really enjoy doing that, and then it's taken off me again, and I have to go back and do this, or to record it, or to go back and... But it was what I always wanted to do. And I think, as with anybody, you get what you want, and we do that. We're humans. Because we get what we want, we realise it wasn't as fabulous as... So many people think that this life is glamorous, and perhaps it is from outside. But once you've been doing it a long while, it's like, this is not glamorous. It's a gig, it's a venue, and I've been in I don't know how many venues already this year. But when I'm on the upside, I think, yes, this is what I wanted to do. I love this. We get to watch the war, which is very strange, and people are demonstrating about going to war, which I understand, because war isn't a very nice thing. However, we should demonstrate before the war about having an army at all if we actually are against it. It's very strange that the amount of those troops that are over there now, it's like pulling the carpet from underneath them. Whether we should be doing that or not, I don't know. Whether we should let Saddam Hussein carry on or not, I don't know. It wouldn't be right to let it happen, but I know that he's supposed to comply to a bunch of agreements from the previous war when he invaded Kuwait, and he hasn't, so that should be set right. Everybody wants to blame the Americans for everything. That's too easy. Or wants to blame the English for everything. That's too easy. But we shouldn't really, obviously, if we can help it, we don't want to go to war. But as we are at a war, we shouldn't be watching it on the TV so that we can say, oh, that person got hurt. More people who were killed the other week in a ferry that went down somewhere than have been killed thus far in this war. And I would think Saddam Hussein reportedly has killed quite a few people within this thing. But then you could say that the British should be looking at what they did in Rhodesia with Mugabe and whatever's going on there now, and other issues around the world. The answer to that question is I just don't know. I can be on one foot and think, if Saddam Hussein is doing those things to people, he should be moved. If the Americans are after the oil, well, we all still use the things. We want to point the finger at the Americans saying, well, they're using the oil, and you and I are going to drive home soon. So all that, it's all a bit tricky. It's all a bit... Well, in theory, it's a democracy. I'm not saying it is 100%, but we know that a military dictatorship can never be that good. A military dictatorship is dangerous. I'm not saying that democracy isn't necessary. Democracy, I think Churchill said, is the... democracy going on there, is the lesser of all the evils. If you can have a benign dictatorship, then fine, but none of us really trust a benign dictator because power corrupts most people. And I've seen various reports from various people, conflicting reports from Iraqis that want to see the Saddam Hussein gone, and some who don't. And the danger is that we bring religion into it. When religion comes into it, it's up shit creek. Because then with this side of the world say we're Christians and they're Muslims. The Christians think they're right and the Muslims think they're right. It's fucked.